Hello, I'm Gary Frerking, and I am a social studies teacher here at Eureka, Kansas, and I'm going to talk about our culture and climate around Eureka. Is that where I found some of this information was on citydata.com, and our community graph is that we're 91% white, we're 5.3% Hispanics, and 0.0% to blacks. And our school population is about represented the same way. A rural setting. A lot of people work in the oil field, or they go to Wichita for their jobs. Um, our school demographic is basically kind of the same thing. Like I said, we have a more white population than anything else. We have a 5% Latino population and a few blacks. Um, of our students that come here, 42% of their parents are married, and 24% are divorced. So if you almost think about that, half our kids that come here come from split homes. So it's kind of hard to tell about, how their lives are going every day, because who knows if they're going to come there, mom and dad are arguing or something like this, something like that. Um, our main jobs that people have around here are in sales, okay, or production, or repair. There's no big manufacturing around here. I'm going to say one of the biggest things that our um, kids' parents do is they have jobs in either Wichita, or a kind of nighttime neighborhood community. They travel back and forth. Um, People in the community that have graduated are 88%. 13% of that holds bachelors. All right. 6.7% are unemployed. All right. Um, it's a great community to grow up in, but like I said, it's very rural setting. We don't have much outside setting into it. School organization is great. We're very accepting of all cultures and stuff like that. We have a great Spanish program here that our teacher does a great job teaching our kids Spanish and another language, so they can and the culture, so they know they can assimilate to that. Don't have much trouble like with that. Except this year we have one student that came here that he is period to speak Spanish, and that's totally new to us here. So we're trying to help him along. Thank gosh he has his cousins that he came here that are been here that know English and Spanish to help him transition towards American style of school. Okay, like I talked about, I found this at the KSDE website that 85% of our population is white in our school, 7.41% are Hispanic, and then 0.03% are African Americans. Okay. For our disability in our school, we have 9% of our kids are disabled, and 90% is non-disabled. Okay, so about 10% of our population has some kind of disability we got to work around with to make them be successful in school. Okay, economic disadvantages. Okay, people that don't have no problem with economics is 43%. People that do have problems in our community is 56%. So it tells you that of the most kids we get in here, almost 60% of our kids that we get in here are some economically disadvantaged. Okay, so it makes it tough on them to come here for reduced meal plans. Come in here, trying to get them to learn sometimes is tough, because the only thing they see at home is a bad, there's not much resources there that they have at home. The gender be 52% female, 47% male in here. That we have, like I said, we're high schoolers. The home language would be English around here, but at home, we have several families that speak Spanish. That we have people in the community that they open up a restaurant, stuff like that, or Mexican food restaurant, that they speak nothing but Spanish in there, but they have their kids that they can understand, and they start trying to figure all that out. It's kind of nice to get some culture, these kids, that way. They have great educational placement. We have an opportunity to them work at Flint Hills up here. They go to Emporia to go work at Flint Hills and try to get them a better opportunity. Learning accommodations is that we have a special ed department that does a great job. It's like the new English learning speakers. trying to get him to learn English, try to help him better and get it along in school. Um, Testing accommodations is that if you have a test, if you need help, we help you with that. Looking back all on this is that with our kids here, I feel like they get a little bit of culture because of the Latinos in here, but like when they go out to the real world, I always kind of preach this in my government classes that you're going to deal with people, different peoples and languages and stuff like that to figure out how to be successful. Because we're kind of secluded here in our small rural town setting that when you go outside of it, you're going to understand other people's cultures, other people's religions, other people's stuff. To me, trying to teach that to these kids here that they've been nothing but a rural setting makes it difficult, but it makes them then they know how they need to understand it. And I try to preach to them and say, hey, you guys need to understand how to work with other people's cultures and other people's things, because what you do here may not be accepted in other people's culture. But for me, I had the great opportunity to go to college. I came from a small town, was very centered in rural culture, kind of like this. But then when I went to college to go play football, I had black teammates. I had people from different backgrounds and stuff that I never had before, but I have interacted with them, which made me better as a person to understand, which I think as a teacher makes me better understand these people, Latinos and blacks that we do come through school and make a connection with them because I understand where they come from because I'm very good friends with people like this from my old playing days. And I love learning about other people's cultures and ways of life because it's different than mine and then makes me more understanding. And that's why I try to make my kids in my class more understanding of other people's cultures is that, hey, you may not think it's acceptable, but this is how they live. And you need to be understanding of that. So, trying to teach with all these different cultures and stuff like that, it's nice that we don't have much of a clash here, but, I cannot imagine being like in Wichita and trying to teach all these different cultures there, teaching two all different cultures, make sure you don't offend somebody, and make it a lot more difficult. But it does make my job difficult to try to make sure that my kids are not being just narrow-minded and that make them open up. It's like, hey, this might be interesting to learn about this or that. So hopefully I get my point across to my kids and to where I'm at so that they become good citizens in the United States and try to be culturally understandable from any people from any economic standing, race standing, gender standing, and all that so that they become good citizens and that we become more open-minded and understanding of other people's rights. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed this.